The stories we present to you are based on real events. We have deliberately changed the names of people and sometimes places. Any similarity or correspondence in names or events is purely coincidental. Music. Rahma was born and raised in a shop in the Zoumi area of the Chefchaouen region. At the age of 16, nothing distinguished her from the other girls in the shop. Like them, she was blonde with Andalusian eyes. She was poor like them. One day, something unexpected happened. A stranger came to ask for her hand in marriage on behalf of a wealthy man from the Gulf. For Rahma, it was the fulfillment of the knight in shining armor who had always captivated the imaginations of girls throughout the ages. For her poor family, it was an escape from poverty and need. Neither Rahma, nor her parents, nor her siblings would have believed it had they not seen it with their own eyes. One morning, the family packed their belongings and traveled to Witsan, leaving behind a resounding announcement in the village. Rahma was going to marry a wealthy Gulf man. No one knew how the matchmaker in this marriage, Si Abed, had chosen him. Rahim, the father of that poor family in Witsan, and everyone else boarded a luxurious car that took them to Casablanca. The journey ended at the door of a lavish villa somewhere in Casablanca. The sea wasn't far away, and seagulls occasionally circled above the villa. The large gate opened, and the luxurious car entered. When Rahim turned around, she saw a well-dressed man closing the gate. The car stopped, and they all got out. Si Abdelrahim said to the shy girl, "From today onward, this is your home." Her cheeks flushed. She wasn't used to being addressed by strangers. The group moved inside to the spacious reception hall. On a gilded salon chair sat a man in Gulf attire. He appeared to be in his 40s. The man rose to greet the guests and approached Rahim's father, Abdul Salam bin Tahami, shaking his hand warmly and expressing his joy at their arrival. Rahim's family members were amazed. They had never seen such furnishings before. The tables were decorated with wreaths of roses, and plates of various sweets were placed throughout the residence. Imagine the fragrance of perfume. Imagine a family from a village near Zoumi, suddenly and unexpectedly transported from a harsh, impoverished environment to such bliss. They were offered a variety of sweets and drinks. They felt close now to the day when their daughter and sister, Rahma, would become the mistress of this house, the one who held absolute power. After they had rested, Si Abdelrahim suggested they go to the hammam, public bath. The Gulf suitor had arranged for the adjacent hammam to be rented, stipulating that only the bride's family could enter. After the Maghrib prayer, they went to the hammam. The fragrance of perfume filled the air, and everyone there was at Rahma's and her family's service. What a blessing! In the hammam, they shed their worn clothes. New clothes were brought for them, befitting their new status. They became different people, certain that their fellow villagers wouldn't recognize them. None of the members of this rural family knew anything about Si Abdelrahim, and in their ignorance and poverty, they didn't even ask who had introduced them to him. None of them knew the other side of this man. They called him before Abdelrahim moved to that remote village on the outskirts of Zoumi. At Mohammed V Airport in Casablanca, he was met by Mr. Mahmoud bin Ahmed Sharki. He didn't know him before, but a friend had directed him to the man and asked him to meet him. After exiting the baggage claim area, he found Sharki waiting for him. Abdelrahim approached him and introduced himself. Sharki asked him if he had booked a taxi. Yes, Abdelrahim replied. It's waiting. Have you booked me a hotel? Yes, at a good hotel. Okay, let's go. Half an hour later, the two were in the hotel lobby. Sharki handed his passport to the receptionist and received the room key. He asked Abdelrahim to accompany him, wanting to discuss the details of what was required. When they entered the room, Sharki threw himself down on a sofa. In his hand was a small rosary with silver beads. Abdelrahim assumed the man wanted one or two girls for a certain period, but Sharki surprised him by saying he wanted a virgin no older than 16. Abdelrahim said the request was expensive. Al-Sharki said he didn't care how much he would pay, but he emphasized that he didn't want to get into any trouble with the Moroccan authorities and that he wanted everything done quickly. Abdelrahim asked Al-Sharki about his plan. Do you mean marriage? He asked. Yes, I don't want marriage. I want a virgin for a few days. Just pay the price, however you want. That's impossible. What's your plan then? I'll propose to her for you, and when I bring her, I'll bring 2 witnesses to officiate the marriage. I told you no. I want marriage, and I'm saying I'll marry her to you. The witnesses will be fake. A wide smile spread across Al-Sharki's face as the silver prayer beads slid rapidly between his fingers. Abdelrahim wrote down Al-Sharki's phone number and left the hotel. The mission began through undisclosed channels. 2 days later, Abdul Rahim was in Rahma's village, near Zoumi, to propose to her on behalf of a wealthy friend. That was the beginning. Rahma, her mother, father, and siblings were at the villa somewhere in Casablanca. After sunset on their first day in this fantastical world they had entered, they left. They went to the bathroom and all put on new clothes. They were now different people, unrelated to the villagers who had been brought from the outskirts of Zoumi. That night, Abdul Rahim brought 2 witnesses to document the marriage. He requested the documents from the bride's father and recorded the information from the groom's passport. The Fatiha was recited, and Rahma became the wife of the wealthy Gulf man. That night, he consummated the marriage, and the following morning, he gifted her 7 gold bracelets. For a week, gifts poured in for Rahma, who couldn't hide her happiness. On the 8th day, Al-Sharqi told her he was traveling to France. He said he had an appointment there with a businessman. He said his absence wouldn't be long, and before leaving, he handed Rahma's father an envelope containing 20,000 dirhams. When Al-Sharqi left, those servants who filled the villa departed. Only Rahma, her mother, her siblings, and her father remained in the villa. As for those who hadn't yet forgotten their days in